What's going on, everyone? Today I'm here with Asia. She is over the YouTube channel AsiaParisJapan. Now, the reason why Asia's here today, we posted a video about the Miss Black University of Texas, and that comment section was a lot of debate about her not being black. Some black people saying she is black. So Asia had left a comment, and I spoke to her there and asked her would she like to discuss that further on the show. And now this is Asia here to do that today. So Asia, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Phil. I've been a fan of the show for a long time, and I would love to add my input, definitely.
Now, talking about Asia's YouTube channel, she has a pretty successful channel. She has over 100,000 subscribers on her channel. I know it's not easy to get at all, so we definitely appreciate the hard work you're doing. Now, what genre is your YouTube channel in?
Definitely personality, but there's a lot of beauty and makeup videos. Beauty, makeup, personality. A girl. I'm a girl.
All right, so the beauty industry, then that's, I think Cheryl is another YouTuber that's also into that as well, that's came on the show. So I don't know if you guys know each other, but hey, people doing the makeup industry, it's definitely a niche for that. And, women definitely value their beauty over a whole lot of things in this world. But continuing, let's talk about the video itself.
Okay.
Miss Melanson, I think her name is, what's her name? Rebecca, was it? Melanson?
It was a unique name, definitely.
And Melanson, I've heard of that name before because my family is from Louisiana, and Melanson is a Creole name. I know that. So when I heard that, and then I heard about her parents, about the father's black and the mom's white. But with the name Melanson, it sounded like he had some sort of Creole background. So I've seen black people with two black parents look just like her, with green eyes, with gray eyes, and they straight from Louisiana. But you were stating along the sides of you felt that she shouldn't call herself black. Why do you say that?
Okay, not exactly feel like she shouldn't call herself black. I just kind of felt like the pageant, it wasn't for her. Like, sis, it wasn't for you. And I'm not saying that in a kind of hater way. I'm just saying that in the essence of, if you want to really represent, a black woman, a beautiful black woman, we want to see a black woman. Now, I'm not saying that, she's not, mixed with black. She's definitely mixed, but it was Miss Black. I'm not sure the, exact name. I just heard of it, on your channel in the article, but, it was for specifically to represent a black woman. And I think, yes, she's mixed, but she does not represent a black woman. And, I think, that's how I feel.
Well, can you explain to me what represents a black woman? I'm curious to know that.
Well, and I kind of say that from everyone else's opinion, kind of just saying it, like that. But based on what you kind of get from the outside world is that, a black woman is a chocolate, melanin woman, kinkier hair texture, sometimes curly hair texture. What you would consider myself is mixed race or biracial, although it does matter most what a person identifies themselves as. It just doesn't seem to kind of flow in society. When you tell people what you are, people want to tell you what you are, but at the same time they ask you, like, what are you? And you tell them you tell them your answer, but they still ultimately want to tell you what you are. And what it looks like here is that society is telling her what she is, which is very, very hurtful. But I kind of think she kind of, just signed up for the wrong thing. It wasn't for you, sis. It just wasn't for her.
So you just said that blackness is more so a darker skinned black person, but do you realize that we have people from darker skinned black people, darker than me, to a person that's light, almost looking white? I mean, do you realize that?
Yeah, I definitely realize that. And I think that people shouldn't focus on colorism too much. And I'm not speaking from how I feel personally as far as saying what a black woman looks like. I'm speaking from what I've gathered being on YouTube, being on social media, having interactions with other girls, because, girls are the ones that, have the opinions. Men have them too, but girls, they really, really have opinions. And I'm just saying, like, based on what I've experienced from there. But personally, as my experience, I feel like you are what you say you are. If you feel a certain type of way, what matters most is how you feel. But unfortunately, you can't really be yourself all the time unless you want to kind of, deal with that uphill battle of backlash and saying, oh, you're not black enough, but then, oh, you're not white enough. Like, it's definitely not fair. But I think that she should have just treaded lightly to kind of, avoid that situation. Because, but I'm not saying like black people are just strictly dark skinned and stuff. We are beautiful. We come in all different shades. I just think that we shouldn't focus on colorism too much. But unfortunately, colorism is a big thing, and I think it sucks.
Well, Asia, I'm just listening to you, and I'm going to just repeat some things that you said. Now, you said that she shouldn't have got into that pageant, right? Didn't you just say that?
Yeah, I do feel that way.
Okay. But then you said that she should be able to identify with who she want to identify with.
Mm-hmm.
So if she identified with black, then why would a person that identify as black not get involved in a black pageant that have a black parent?
Exactly. I feel that way. It's just the backlash you got. Like, I don't know if I explained it kind of, on the right way. It's like you should feel the way you want to feel, but you should expect backlash. She should say, yes, I'm a black woman. My father is black. I was raised, by a black man because I know her father, he's black. But it just sucks how society is nowadays. You're never really enough, honestly. Like, whatever you're trying to be, it's like you're never enough.
If we focus on what society, and I don't know who these people are in society because it's a lot of voices coming in society. So,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I don't like to form my opinions based off of internet backlash or internet comments. I basically, usually try to do it off of research, facts.
Yeah.
Now, do you realize most of us aren't 100% African?
Oh, yeah.
You agree with that?
Especially being in America, being black in America, I definitely agree with that.
So it seems like, and I'm gonna throw some different things out. It seems like that based on the look of a person, that's when you have this conversation about who's black or not. Because for instance, you look at Drake. Drake has a white parent and a black parent,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't hear people constantly talking about he ain't black. I don't know why he's up there acting like he's black. You never hear that about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with this girl. So what's the difference?
Honestly, I feel I can't even wrap my mind around it. I honestly can't wrap my mind around it. There's so much just back and forth. There's so many opposing opinions when it comes to race. So it's just like I literally took off all the race videos off my channel talking about race because there is so much controversy. But I do feel a lot of people base things on how a person looks. Like, oh, you look black. Oh, you look white. It's crazy. Like, you look one way, but you are something else. If people don't agree, you can't get them to agree. It's just something that we shouldn't focus on, but unfortunately, people focus on it.
I noticed in the area of the women, and I'm seeing two different conversations going on here, and it just for me just kind of falling back and listening in the background. You have some women that say, well, women like her aren't black, or women that are racially ambiguous, they aren't black, even though they have a black parent. And the argument is, well, they're trying to replace us in the advertising and replace us on television. Do you think that maybe has something to do with the animosity a little bit?
Definitely. First, people who are mixed with black, they aren't black, they're mixed with black. You see, there's other components. And as far as biracial and mixed women, what was it? Overshadowing black women on overshadowing?
Yeah, that's what some of the argument. And I can see what they're talking about.
And
a lot of times they'll use a woman that is more racially ambiguous sometimes to represent black women.
yes, and absolutely, I do agree that multiracial women, biracial women, they are overshadowing black women when it comes to hair companies, when it comes to, on TV, what represents a black woman, or in media. Like, there definitely are biracial women overshadowing black women, but I don't think it's the biracial women. I think the biracial woman, she's simply applying for a job, a modeling job, an acting job. I think what really we should look at, we should really give the side eye to the company, the casting director, people who kind of set the whole game up. It's almost like when women turn against each other and say, "Oh, you're stealing my man," or "Oh, you're stealing the show," or "Oh, you're doing this." I think we should kind of focus on the person who's actually setting the things up versus the pawn, because there's levels to it. And
Yeah.
chances are what you're seeing isn't the face of the company. Chances are what you're seeing is literally a mask who has no clue that it's a mask. All they know is they're doing a gig for some money. So, yeah.
So at least what I'm noticing from the companies when they use a lot of racially ambiguous women, they're doing the brown paper bag test all over again. Do you know about that?
Oh, yeah, I know about the brown paper bag test.
Okay, so do you feel that that's what's going on? Maybe the brown paper bag test, but they're not really saying it's the brown paper bag test?
I definitely feel like that's what's going on. I have some thoughts that I want to say that I don't, want to say too much, but I definitely feel the brown paper bag test is going on, and I think it's ridiculous. I think that we as consumers should stop supporting stuff like this. It's like, why get mad at someone but still give them your money? We're waiting for some, talented, very educated, smart, business savvy black woman to come out with a company or a brand that will represent black women as they should be represented. So I think it's a lot of opportunity right now for young black individuals. I think that because a lot of companies are, kind of showing their true colors, that we should rise and we should support each other, and we should have an agenda that we support versus, supporting these companies that care nothing about you. I think that we should come together, and I think it's a great opportunity, honestly.
Yeah, and I agree. Now, I'm all about coming together, unity, and that's something I definitely promote. But when you talk about what a person looks like when they're born, and you look at the woman. Now, as I was stating earlier to you before we started, I have a niece, and my sister has a child, and the father is Creole, Louisiana Creole. He is real light skinned. He's black, got two black parents. I seen his parents. Actually, his parents is way darker than him. So he got my sister, they got married, they had my niece. My niece is his color with sandy blonde hair. And then people will come up to my sister and say, is she mixed? And she's not. So what do you say about black people who are actually the same color as that lady and still dealing with that?
It's just a sad situation to deal with, honestly. And for the child that is, mixed or look mixed, or, just doesn't look the norm, or whatever people think that they shouldn't cross their mind, is definitely a very confusing and conflicting situation, because the child will never feel like, they fit in. It's like, I'm not black enough, I'm not white enough. Well, there's not a group of mixed people, especially middle school and high school. I recently just got out of high school. There's these cliques where it's like, you got the Asian clique, at lunchtime, you got the, the Latinos, they're clicked up, you got the blacks clicked up, and it's kind of, as a biracial person, it's like, where do I fit in? It's like, yeah, I can go, hang out with the black clique, but it's only so long before I start getting the light skin jokes, or, not black enough jokes, and then you go hang with the white people, and you obviously don't fit in with them. So I think that it's something that we could just do without this whole, oh, you look like this, you look like that. We should just do without. As long as the person is just a cool person, not hurting nobody, it really shouldn't be a big deal. Let's focus on, a person's eyebrows or their hair or their nails or something. Like, why do you want to focus on a person's something they have no control over, their race? Like, it's ridiculous.
You're right. And my thing is this. I've seen some of the biggest turncoat sellouts be darker than me. And I've seen people who are biracial fight harder for black people than I've ever seen some darker skinned black people.
Oh, yeah.
Fight. So for me, it's more so the mindset and the person who they are, because you have no choice on who your parents are. You don't. So, but you do have a choice on what you do in your life. And so if you feel more connected to, your father's side more than others, because let's say if you have a white parent, the white community is going to reject you, period. They don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
If you don't look like them, they don't want you. It's just that simple. the black community has always been one that's accepting anybody who has a black parent. But as of recent, you know, you have more of your conscious minded people saying, no, they ain't black. They this, they that. And I'm like, I don't understand that, because if they fighting for the community, they're not out there, you know, shucking and jiving, then I don't get it. And maybe you can help me with that a little bit better. Understand that.
I don't get it either, to be honest with you. And I do deal with it on a daily. And honestly, I still haven't been able to wrap my head around it. I don't really understand what people want. I think people just want something to talk about. I think they just want something to talk about, but it's just really not the best subject. Like, it's, some things are best not spoke about. Like, for example, if, you know, someone has an ugly baby, you shouldn't talk about, like, that they have an ugly baby. It's just some subjects you shouldn't talk about. You should just, you know, you kind of know, you take a mental note, and then you just kind of keep moving on. But when you nitpick about stuff that people can't control, it really does cause a lot of insecurities. It causes a lot of people, you know, having personal conflict or feeling like I don't fit in. Like, I think it's just, we shouldn't do it. Let's unite. Let's use this energy, let's use that energy, put it towards something positive, and just succeed. Because there's a lot of energy, and I think it's just being misused. There's a lot of people wanting to do something, say something, wanting to be a part of the community, and I think we're just kind of going about it the wrong way. Instead of pointing out what's wrong, let's make something that's right. And if it's something that you really can't change, let's just learn to live with it. You know, as far as biracial people, it's not horrible that people are biracial. They're still human. They still speak, you know, human languages. They can still donate blood and stuff. It's just, it's not important. You know, let's just focus on making progress and being positive.
And then we have to understand the history of all this. When we were in Africa, yes, we divided on tribes, for sure. But when the European came into power, he is the one start dividing on color. And if we sitting up here drinking his Kool-Aid and dividing on color and what you look like, and you want to separate because of looks, people don't even understand that after slavery, when they did the census, there was close to 500,000 what they would call mulattoes in this country at that time period. It wasn't because these people got in relationships with the whites. It was because black women were raped. Always being raped on the plantation. And that's how a lot of this light skin even got involved in our group. Because when we came off the boats, we was mostly dark skinned.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't divide. Like I said, we all black at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all these attacks going on by these racialized terrorists. They don't care if you're biracial. If you look black to them, you're not white. They're coming after you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then to top it off, okay, so you got them. You don't look white. You're black to them. You get attacked by them, and then you have the black people who say, well, you're not black enough. So you kind of get it from both sides, and it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary trauma to, you know, people. I think that we should use it towards something positive. And here's something else. I think where all this conflict is coming from is the fact that people have to realize that you will not win playing someone else's game. And this conflict is coming from us playing someone else's game. You know, we're still living our lives based off of, you know, old rules, and we need to move on. We need to move on. Seriously, that's how I feel. We need to unite and move on.
And now you say you was dealing with that as well. What have people told you?
I'm not black enough. I got a lot of I'm not black enough because I tried to go, you know, fit in with more of the black community because I'm black. I was raised black. My mother, you know, she's black and white. She's black. We're from the hood. We're from LA. She's from Compton. I'm from Inglewood. My father, his family's from Louisiana. They're Creole, Native American, you know, raised in Compton. We're all from the hood. We're black. When we check the box of ethnicity, we check black or Native American, but you kind of have conflict when people say, you know, you're not black. I noticed that in middle school. That's when it happened to me, when they're like, you're not really black. What are you? And then I started to ask my mom, like, Mom, what am I? Am I, you know, black, white, Native American? I thought I was, you know, that mixture. Then I found out that there was Creole. So I would explain to people, okay, well, my mom is black and white. My father's Native American and Creole. So, and then they go, oh, you're just black. So it's like, what are you? You're not black. Oh, you're just black. it's like they set you up for failure. You have to realize that this whole conversation is destined for insecurities. It's not important. It's really not important. I mean, it isn't. It's important, but it's not important enough to hurt people. You know, I think that we should have a different tone and approach when discussing race. I think that people are beautiful. They come in all shapes and sizes, all tones, and all types of hair textures, and just all types of freckles. And people, we're so unique. I think that we shouldn't try to categorize each other, because even black people aren't the same color. They're not the same color. You have cool tone black people, you have warm tone black people, you have more of a neutral tone black people. Like, people come in all shapes and size and tones, and I just kind of want the whole discussion to just be put to rest and to focus on something more positive. Definitely.
Dividing like that over how you look. Look, we dealing with a lot of issues in this country right now. There's a video, I don't know if this video fake or real. I mean, I'm leaning more so towards fake, where they had these, two white supremacists supposedly hanging a black girl. Like I said, I don't know if it's real, I don't know if it's fake, but the video's been circulating on social media. So
I hope it's fake.
You think what?
I hope it's fake. Oh man.
Yeah, everybody's turning that video in, and like I said, I'm looking more and more into it. A lot of people putting out false information that's been debunked and thinking that's Kendra Reed, the girl that I just did the video about, but her friend came out and said it wasn't even her. They said, I don't know why you guys putting that out there. I just saw the editing and the way they did that, and I'll say, well, it looked like the editing is kind of deceptive a little bit as well. But even if it is fake, it's still a problem for it's disgusting for a black person to participate in something like that. And that's why a lot of brothers were screaming years ago about this horrible movies they put out called Ghetto Gaggers. And that was horrible. Years ago they put that mess out. It's just horrible. But brothers know what I'm talking about, and brothers were speaking up against that sort of thing. But the thing is, we need to, like you say, get together. We need to unify, put aside that silliness, because, okay, if you divide from them, then what? I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, the white folks don't want them. They're not going to claim them. You say they're not black. So then they just put it in a special category by themselves. They're looking around like, okay, when they look like you. Right. They don't look like them. It's rare if one come out like, what's that lady name? Quincy Jones, Rashida Jones. Every once in a while, one will come out looking like Rashida Jones. You know who I'm talking about?
I'm not exactly familiar, but I know the name. The picture's not registering, but I know the names.
Yeah, she could pass, but it's not that many of them that are born that could pass like she can pass. Most of them, like Halle Berry, she's, has a white parent, but if you look at her, she looks like a black woman.
Yeah, she looks biracial. She looks mixed with black. That's the thing. Like, it's like people skip over the category of being mixed. It's just like you're black or you're white. It's like, why can't I be mixed? People don't seem to recognize that that's a category. They say, well, mixed people, they're not black. Well, mixed people, they're not white. They're mixed. That's a category. Racially ambiguous, biracial, multiracial. That's a category. You're skipping over the answer. It's like you're so frantic with your hair on fire, you're running past a fire extinguisher. Like, that's the answer right there. They look racially ambiguous. So when I said earlier about how the girl, she shouldn't necessarily have entered the Miss Black pageant, if there was a Miss racially ambiguous or Miss biracial or Miss multiracial, representing the cultures, coming together, if there was a pageant like that and she entered it, I would understand. But just the simple fact that it was Miss Black, you have to, when you think of a black woman, personally, when I think of a black woman, I think of beautiful chocolate skin. I think of like NC45 or deeper, like it's MAC foundation shades. But I think of a beautiful black woman with beautiful jet black, thick hair, full lips. I think of a black woman. When I think of a mixed woman, that's when I kind of think of myself. When I think of a white woman, I think of my grandmother. There's different categories, but I think people skip over the mixed category and they just kind of say, oh, you're mixed. It's like, yeah, I'm mixed.
I disagree with you 100% on that, because I've seen black people, like I told you before, from way lighter than you, lighter like that lady, and then all the way darker than me, and they have black parents. So we can't have a definition based on a look and say, oh, black is just darker skinned black people, because that's
Definitely.
just not even, you know, true. I'm just, that's the only thing I'm saying with the situation. I
Yeah.
think it's the wonderful thing about us, and somebody took a picture of this and they show like every skin tone of black person, and all the way from darker than me all the way down to way lighter than you. And we come in so many different skin tones. We come in different hair textures and features. And why would we want to relegate that to one thing when we are the originators of the earth, father and mother of the planet? Why we want to relegate that to one look? I don't think we should do that. I mean, we are very unique people. No matter what these people who can't stand to say, we're extremely unique. They want to copy us every day. They watch everything we do. Trust me. I mean, you look at it now, you have a Caucasian female, someone they want to do a natural hair movement. How?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the tanning shots where the woman injects herself with melanin, and she goes from a very fair-skinned blonde woman to, as she described, crispy dark. She wants to be crispy dark, and she got pretty dark. It didn't look natural, but she got pretty brown. They're doing that now.
Yeah, so you know, that's my thing. Like, you got people that want to separate from being black, or want to say no, you're not black. And like when people are literally paying to look like you, whether they're saying that or not, you should feel like some sort of, you know, pride. And if you look at some of these women, they're literally trying to morph themselves into the look of a black woman for the most part. That they're not doing it for the traditional look of their, you know, group. So I mean, I don't understand what's even the problems person. Now, do you feel, and this, I know somebody's going to say this in the comment section, do you feel the men, we talk about black men, do you feel the men play a role on the issues with racially ambiguous or dark skin, light skin? Do you feel the men play a big role in that?
I feel like only a certain percentage of men play a part of that. And I think a small percentage, well, not small, but a percentage gets hyped up and exposed more, like it gets more exposure than another percentage. But I think everyone has their type. Like some men like light-skinned girls. Some men don't care what the girl look like. They just like girls. But I think it's just kind of getting hyped up and blown out of proportion. I think it's just another distraction to keep us segregated. I think these things get kind of blown up on social media to cause, you know, to stir up some stuff. It's on purpose. Like, think about it. You know, everything is kind of caused on purpose. In our community, we get targeted the most because I feel like we react the most. Because we're passionate. Because I feel for black women. I feel for dark-skinned women because it's literally copyright infringement that's going on with them. People literally copyright their looks, their skin color, their hair, their this, their that, and then say, oh, it's not beautiful on you, sweetheart. It's only beautiful on me. What the hell? I completely feel for black women, like, and for myself as well, but I'm just saying, like, black women in general, like, how can you tell me that it's not beautiful on me, but when it's on you, it's beautiful? Like that, like I said, you won't win in another person's game, and don't invest your feelings. Don't invest your feelings in an asshole's opinion, because people who have opinions like that are clearly assholes. And yes, I know I cussed, but YouTube ain't paying us anyway, so might as well say how I feel.
Yeah, they you know, YouTube gotta get they act together with all that, you know. But the good thing, like I said, you talking about the YouTube thing, is, you know, people are branching out, doing different things, and you know, Patreon has definitely helped us, you know, for sure. We have, you know, thank God for the people that supporting, because we couldn't continue this without the supporters. And you know, so on your channel itself, talking about YouTube, have you seen some growth, or you know, what kind of people kind of visit your channel?
Well, ever since this huge ad crisis has been going on, I've been seeing a lot of decrease in my channel all across the board. Literally, YouTube is deleting my subscribers. I think it's because I had a bunch of videos up about topics that aren't rated G, aren't family friendly, or whatever they want to call it. So I'm trying to go ahead and, you know, take those videos off, put them on private, and, you know, keep them on a shelf for later when I can actually be myself, when YouTube figures out what they're doing. But I have growth at the same rate that I used to have growth, but I'm also seeing YouTube personally go into my channel and delete, decline, decrease a lot of things across the board. It's crazy. So YouTube is really acting up. YouTube is acting up.
Well, I heard something about a new algorithm they have, and they trying to tweak this new algorithm, and that's what's going crazy. Anytime YouTube makes a change, it's always the worst thing ever. And it takes a few months for them to figure it out. Then it kind of levels out a little bit. So we'll see, because like you said, we had more viewership in the previous months, more watch time, and then it doesn't reflect, based on the revenue and stuff like that. So literally, we out there, we gonna keep putting out the stories. You're not gonna censor ourselves, because with the support of the people, no reason to censor yourself. And that's like you talking about, you took down some videos. I wouldn't took them videos down for what? For what?
So I can,
I mean, some people may some people may appreciate those videos. Now, what you say? I couldn't hear the last thing you said.
I'm sorry. I said I took down a video so I can try to get back in their good graces or something, because my channel is dying. This is my baby, You invest a lot of time and money into YouTube. People don't realize there's a lot of behind the scenes work, a lot. And, for all that hard work to pay off, and then one day all your hard work means nothing to YouTube, it's kind of hard to walk away from, So I guess I'm kind of, trying to bend and see if I could, I don't know, keep my channel alive, because it definitely has meaning to me. There's videos from years ago. What other platform do you have videos of yourself from, 3-4 years ago?
I definitely agree. Like I said, I think it'll eventually, we don't know when, eventually, hopefully fix itself. But in the meantime, like I say, you just have to kind of diversify. Like I say, maybe, do the Teespring. We're doing that now. Or, you're going to have your supporters, if they want to support, a Patreon or PayPal, give them exclusive content. I know you do makeup, so give them exclusive makeup tutorials on Patreon they can't get, publicly. And, just give them incentive at least to be there. So,
yeah, definitely. I definitely appreciate that advice. And I'm interested in doing that.
All right, so Asia, where can people get in contact with you if they want to find your channel and continue the conversation further?
You can find me on YouTube. My channel is AsiaParisJapan, or you can follow my pictures on Instagram, which is also AsiaParisJapan, or you can email me if you want to talk to me directly. I give advice, stuff like that, brand deals, sponsorships, collaborations, AsiaParisJapan@gmail.com.
All right, everyone. So make sure to subscribe to Asia's channel, Asia Paris Japan. Shouldn't be that hard to find. Is a simple name, unlike ours sometimes. But yeah, check her out and continue the conversation with her. If you agree or disagree with her position, or I'm pretty sure some of you will disagree with my position, leave that in the comments. Let us know. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this conversation today, because these are the conversations that we love to have within our community. And I definitely love to reach out and talk to other people, even on the platform themselves, to bring in some good conversation and knowledge.
And just really quickly, I'd like to add that I do not feel that my opinion is 100% solid. I'm open to other views. I'm open to other opinions. If your opinion differs from mine, I'd love to hear your input. Shoot it at me. I got thick skin, and I'd like to hear what you got to say.
All right, guys. Well, you heard what Asia had to say. Leave her the comments, subscribe to her channel, and see you next time.